What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Nomad Sculpt video. Here we are doing a client commission piece for one of my clients, and I wanted to take you through the process on how I sculpt. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but just more of my thought process and why I do certain things. And I want to say thank you again for all the love on the last video comparing Nomad versus the Forger app, and I plan to do some more like that as well. So on screen right now, I am breaking down the primary, secondary, and tertiary shapes of the model that I'm going to be making. In this case, we are making Sparky from the Metallica pinball machine, a remake of his head. And this head is going to be going on the shooter rod of a pinball, to where that rod is, if you guys don't play pinball or have never seen a pinball machine, you pull the rod and that's what launches the pinball into the machine. So as you can see, he's pretty easy. The main shape is an orb or a sphere, you know, and then you break it down a little bit more and you have two spheres creating, intersecting and creating the head and the helmet. And then if you want to go one step further, you have like the infinite shape for the eyes, and then you have just like the squiggly blob for the tongue. I don't normally do this for every project on paper or in Procreate. I just do this in my head and try to break it down, building a certain type of, just like a checklist of sorts. So I understand what shapes I need to pull from. Right here, I built a little collage in case I need any of these references for later views. I did pull some and I built it, and I made an image out of some of them onto a backdrop piece to put into Nomad, and you'll see in a second right there in the background. On this step right here, I'm just quickly showing you guys you can easily, with primitive shapes, start breaking down and building the outline or the shapes that you need to start building the model. In this case, I didn't go all the way because I don't really sculpt that way anymore, but for beginners, I think it's a good way to start your sculpt so that you have everything you need, at least shape wise, to start nailing down the details. Of course, you have to edit, move, and push whatever to get something fine-tuned, but you know, if you guys want me to do another video like that, I'd be happy to, using primitive shapes to build out an object. But in this case, since he's so simple, he's just a sphere, I did everything straight from just a clay ball, or in this case digital clay ball. So as you saw, I usually start my process with the eyes because they kind of set the tone for the rest of the head, and especially since his are very prominent, it just helps me kind of start my flow, if that makes sense. And then as you can see, I start pulling in other shapes to start building the helmet, and I don't have everything attached. I usually keep things separate that need to be separate until the absolute end. Since this piece is going to be 3D printed, you will need to make this airtight when you finish up, or in this case, when we finish up or I finish up. But I wait to do that until the absolute end, because if I ever need to go back and edit one of the pieces, it's easier to edit individual pieces instead of editing the entire mesh if it is all merged together right away. And as you can see, I haven't put any much detail into anything yet or polish. It is just quickly getting rough shapes out in there, especially the teeth. They're literally just cubes right now, and I'm just tilting them and placing them where they should be eventually. Right here, I am using the brush tool, and I'm changed the stroke type to a drag stroke type. I forgot what term is used in Nomad. It was kind of weird. I just took a guess and I was hoping that was it, but I'll have to look back at that. But yeah, I started dotting out dimples into the tongue, because in the actual model, or if you can see in the reference, he does have dimples in his paint job. I'll be honest, I was a little creeped out while doing this because I don't like seeing a bunch of holes like that large in front of me. It gives me the heebies. I wouldn't say I have a phobia, but it does make me uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, once I thickened it up and inflated it, it was not a problem. And now here I'm starting to get my polish on certain shapes in the face, like the nose, the ends of the lip, maybe the eyes, just starting to nail it down. I mean, fortunately, he's a very easy character to do, so I have too much time to do with the face. I did most of it in the beginning anyways. So I'm starting to add the cuts and the wear and tear on his teeth that he has, and just readjusting a lot of those teeth to make sure that when I remesh everything to make it sealed tight, that everything is touching and there's no crazy holes or air gaps that can cause problems for molding later on. But yeah, I mean, we're just polishing at this point, you know, making certain things bigger, smaller that they need, making sure that the shapes match up. And luckily I was fortunate to find, you know, a front, a bottom, and a side view of Sparky's face, which helped out a lot. Not every piece of reference you're going to have is going to be that clear and easy, but always be using reference, guys. I just love how easy Nomad Sculpt is to sculpt in. You know, I think it's great to start off high poly pieces and then take it on later into Blender or ZBrush or whatever, you know, program you use, Mudbox, anything like that, and then fine tune from there. But, you know, Nomad really is a big game changer. I know the Forger app was always there, but there's something about Nomad in the way it performs and the UI and everything that just makes sculpting a lot of fun on the tablet. You know, I can't recommend this program enough if you haven't bought it already, or have not seen my previous video. And the developer has added a lot to this since my comparison video. I mean, he's added, he just released another update that added subtractive Boolean, and that's going to be a game changer in my workflow in Nomad. It's going to feel a lot more like how I work in ZBrush or in Blender. You know, you have the mask extraction. He has adjusted the that you can move the gizmo to pose in here now when you mask stuff off. It still isn't the cleanest process to getting that. Like, I feel like Forger has a better posing system still. But overall, everything that he has added since that first comparison, it's night and day. Like, I really, you know, I feel bad saying this because you know, in my Forger review, I raved about Forger, but ever since Nomad came out, I do not use Forger really anymore. Sorry, Forger dev. As you can see at this point, I'm just adding a little bit more detail. The client asked for some cracks in the helmet, and I just quickly added those in real quick. And he also asked to tweak the tongue. It was a little too thin and a little too long. But for the most part, this guy was pretty easy. It didn't take me that long. I mean, I think in total I maybe worked like 2 hours. And that was on and off, and, you know, here and there. But I think if you're looking, you know, to get into 3D printing or sculpting for 3D printing, and you only have a tablet, Nomad Sculpt is the way to go. Like I've stated before in my other video, Nomad Sculpt's the only one that is on Android, where the Forger app is only on iOS. And everybody who has used it, the performance is great. I mean, it's ridiculous how much geometry you can use in this program, and runs pretty smooth. Like, I haven't had really any issues with it. I still need to finish that samurai that I started in the comparison video. I know some of you guys have been asking for that, and I will get to that. I just have some other client work that I am in the middle of right now. But I wanted to get a video out for you guys because I know you guys have been asking for some process videos and some tutorials. I do need to make a tutorial video on how I use Nomad Sculpt and where everything is at, and I plan on doing that. So I don't know, do you guys want me to do like a full mini course in here, you know, from start to finish, or would you guys just like tips and pieces of how to use the program? You guys let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Like, again, you know, this was a pretty easy sculpt, and I thought this would be fun to talk over with you guys on how I use Nomad. I really don't use a lot of the brushes in here. I mean, trim was the most advanced brush I used on this piece, but it's mostly just move the regular brush with a edited fall off to make it more sharp, so it's like dam standard in ZBrush, and clay build up and smooth. That's pretty much it, guys. I mean, you don't really need much. I mean, those basic tools is pretty much all you need to just get going and started. It's really understanding shape and form that's most important in your sculpting journey. And you know, once you nail that, a whole bunch of doors open for you, and everything just kind of falls in place after that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what other content you want from Nomad Sculpt on here, and I'd be happy to get that out for you guys. Anyways, thanks guys. I will talk to you later, and you have a great day, night, weekend, wherever you're at, whenever you're at. Peace.